Battlers, I have a huge announcement. Victory Road PvP Orlando and King IV are so proud to present our official host for the 2020 January 18th Mega Cup in Orlando, Florida. We have partnered with the wonderful people at Groovy Goat Orlando, who will be hosting the biggest tournament on the East Coast and the first tournament for the year 2020. Battlers, you do not want to miss this incredible event. We're going to have some of the best battlers from around the world attending. Some of the biggest names in PvP will be there, and yes, you heard me right, this cup is hosted by King IV. This is a huge deal, another enormous step towards making Pokemon Go PvP an esport, and I really hope that you can be there. Let's show Groovy Goat some love. Their hashtag is GG Orlando, and their Facebook page is down in the description. Definitely head over there and look at the pictures, take a look around. It's a beautiful venue. They have awesome food. We could not be more excited to partner with them. And while you're there, definitely leave them a like. It is totally worth it. I'm also including a link to our official Twitter handle down in the description below so that you can follow along with our official tournament announcements. Our official handle is Victory Road PvP. From our official Twitter handle, we'll post everything from event details to an exclusive battler menu, behind the scenes shots, and even elite trainer announcements when a big name announces that they're going to be coming to the Cup in January. Trainers, I hope to see you in Orlando on January 18th. We are creating an official tournament link on Thursday when the Sylph Arena makes their official announcement for the Fusion Cup. All right, battlers, welcome back to a brand new Timeless Cup video. We are spotlighting the big, the bad Abomasnow. Most people use Abomasnow as a razor leafer, but I have an interesting twist on it here, as you'll see shortly. So going into game one, I do run into Skuntank, and I do not want to be there. Abomasnow is part grass, so you do have to avoid the poisons. I switched into Minun here, and you are not the only one getting Ferocious Cup flashbacks, but I promise, trainers, November is over. We are not doing Ferocious anymore. This is December. This was a funny situation where Minun ended up lining up against Skuntank. So I am a little bit surprised that nobody's covered electric types in the Timeless Cup yet. I know there are a lot of Mud Boys and a lot of Dragons, but I do think an electric type like Minun that can beat Charizard, Lapras, Celio, and a bunch of other meta picks is relevant. If you'd like for me to cover an electric type like Minun, let me know. So here comes Kingdra, and as you can tell, trainers, my Abomasnow is running Powder Snow. This is a very fast charging charge move, as you know from Celio. We get to that energy ball in 8 powdered snows, and we wall up that Kingdra. In comes Lapras, and we're going to try to do the same thing here. We're going to land another energy ball here, and this is actually going to do a tremendous amount of damage to Lapras. Look at that, trainers. Abomasnow is really tricky because you have to use its typing as its strength instead of its weakness. So obviously if you run into something like a Charizard, you're in big trouble, but that Ice Grass typing gives you some unique opportunities. We do bring in our Hippowdon with Ice Fang. Trainers, my Hippowdon video was my first ever video to reach 1,000 views. I am still so thankful for you guys for watching and believing in me back then. If you'd like for me to do another Hippowdon video, this time with Ice Fang, let me know in the comments below as well. So here we go into game 2. Abomasnow is going to face off against this Whiscash. As you can tell, Mud Bomb did nothing. I'm going to fire off an Outrage here against the Skuntank and force my opponent to shield. I then look for the swap into Drapion. So probably not the best swap I could have done, but I do have that Dragonair in the back, and I know he's an excellent generalist that can line up pretty much against anything else in the cup and do decently well. So I did want to keep that Dragonair healthy in the back. Here we go against Skuntank. I'm going to shield this next attack because it would definitely KO, and I'm trying to get to this Aqua Tail. We're actually able to farm down, which is really, really nice. In comes this Whiscash, and I do hit the crunch. Let's see if it lands. And it does. Takes a nice little chunk, and I fast swap into Abomasnow. Aggressive swap there. I know I can take a Mud Bomb based on earlier, but the Blizzard comes through, and that Grass typing makes me pay. Grass typing is not good against the Blizzard, obviously because it's Ice. Abomasnow is going to take neutral from that, and something as powerful as Blizzard is really going to hit hard. So we are able to Dragon Breath down the Whiscash. Out comes Celio, and I'm going to try here to go for a bait. This is not a purified Dragonair, so expecting the Dragon Pulse, my opponent does shield. And then here comes a big Dragon Pulse from us. This is almost enough to bring down Celio, but in comes a charge move. It's going to be interesting to see how we wrap up this game. I do have my Drapion, and we're both very weak. We encounter some lag here, and the fast move race is on, but we lose it. So going into the next game, I'm going to lead Abomasnow into Venusaur. Venusaur does have that Sludge Bomb, which you have to be very careful of. Here comes a charge move from it, and I'm worried, but it is a Frenzy Plant. Look at that. Abomasnow can really tank the Frenzy Plant, but you do not want to see a Sludge Bomb. In comes Ninetales, and there were only a few Fire Spins fired off here, so I know that it's not a Solar Beam. I do have my Hippowdon here, so I'm going to fire off the Earth Power. This will one-shot Ninetales if it lands, but it does not. I'm trying to get to another Earth Power here, and I actually over-tap on the Body Slam and miss it. So not good for us trainers. I do decide to bring in Dragonair, and I'm going to keep it pretty healthy, recognizing that my Abomasnow is not going to do well if that Venusaur decides to use Sludge Bomb when I see it again. So I'm going to tank this Psyshock. Kanto Ninetales charges up so quickly. I did use it in Rainbow and really loved it. I'm going to swap here into Abomasnow and burn this shield here with the Energy Ball. That definitely would have KO'd if it landed. Quagsire is going to stay in here, expecting the Stone Edge. I will shield, and it's actually an Earthquake. So I do get to one more Energy Ball, but a very nice swap by my opponent to bring in that Venusaur, absorbing that Energy Ball, and then we are actually going to get a few fast moves to bring that Venusaur pretty low, but we're not able to land that Outrage because of that really well-timed switch. So in comes my opponent's last Pokemon, which is Quagsire, and I go for the Dragon Pulse. This is not quite enough, but we get to the Aqua Tail to finish the job. Taking a look at the next game, I will lead Abomasnow into Skuntank. So again, trainers, we need to bail out of this really quickly. I do go into my Minun, so just like we saw in the first video clip, this is very similar, but I promise it's not the same battle. I do absorb that Crunch, and then I go right here for the Discharge. Trying to get to another Discharge here, which will KO, and we're actually able to get there, which is really nice. So we're either going to force a shield or take the Skuntank, and we do get this shield. At this point, Minun is so weak, I'm going to let my opponent use his Charge Energy here, and then wait out that switch timer for a few more seconds. So in comes my Dragonair, and Dragonair is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love using it in this cup. Hit that like button if you like this Abomasnow play so far. In comes the Charizard. So Charizard is going to have to watch out for these Aqua Tails, which my opponent does decide to shield, and we are almost able to get to a second one. I do have to defend this Dragon Claw because it would bring us dangerously low, and we do get to that Aqua Tail, but in comes the Whiscash, and this is exactly what Abomasnow likes. We're going to fire off this Energy Ball against the Whiscash, and boom, one shot. In comes Charizard, and we're actually able to Powder Snow it down for the win. Going to the next game, I will lead Abomasnow yet again into Drapion. So this is a Ice Fang Drapion. In comes Ludicolo, and I'm going to go into my Poison-type Skuntank. I know Zionic really enjoys Ludicolo, and a lot of good trainers do, including my dear friend Matt Swar, but I've just not been able to make it work, trainers. It's just not my favorite Razor Leafer, but I do respect the people that are able to use it. It's a very tricky Pokemon to use, just like Abomasnow is. So we're going to fire off a charge move and then counter a little bit of lag, but no big deal. We would have fainted anyway. In comes my Abomasnow, and we're finally getting to see how Abomasnow stacks up against the dragons. So we do take that Aqua Tail, no problem, and I go straight for this Outrage. I will really make my opponent pay if it lands, but it does get shielded. So we do have both of our shields. Abomasnow is pretty weak, so I'm actually going to let it take this Aqua Tail and basically fall. But I have two shields with Meganium here, so I'm going to charge up a lot of energy with the Vine Whips. I'm going to shield the Aqua Tail, even though I probably didn't need to, and we're going to get some more energy together. In comes Drapion, and this Earthquake is going to nuke it. I also loved Meganium in the Rainbow Cup. I haven't built a team with it yet, but I might try it soon. Going to the next game, this is against my friend X Factor. I do lead Sudowoodo into that Tentacruel. So I do swap in Abomasnow here just to see how things go, and my opponent switches into Sunny Castform. As you can tell, those Embers are hurting really badly. He's going to shield that first attack and actually be able to farm me down with that Ember fast attack. So again, when you use Abomasnow, you really have to be careful about its typing and how you line that up. It can be really good against certain Pokemon's moves, and it can be really bad against the other moves by the same Pokemon. For example, Venusaur is a great example to look at. So I do go straight for the Earthquake here, and we bring down the cast form, which is really, really nice. In comes Tentacruel, and I'm not going to shield this, anticipating the Acid Spray, and it is exactly that. In comes Dragonair, though, and I'm going to line this up with Lapras. So Lapras does have a shield, but that Tentacruel is going to be tough to deal with. I do have a little bit of energy on Pseudo ready. I just need to be careful about how we manage it here on out. So in comes the Aqua Tail. I was expecting a Dragon Pulse, so we did waste our shield there. In comes Tentacruel, though, and I think about going for the Skull Bash, but I opt for the Surf instead, just because I think I can get a couple of Surfs off, and we can do that. So again, just trying to put pressure on Tentacruel, trying to make my opponent use their shield, which we actually accomplished, which is really, really nice. My opponent's going to fire off the Acid Spray, and I'm going to fast swap into Pseudo, and he does have a little bit of energy left, but we're able to reach this Rock Slide after just one more counter. Well, actually, we get lagged out, so sad Lapras, we lagged, but I thought we were going to be able to get there. Normally we would, if not for the lag, but GG's. Going into another game, I leave Pseudo into Tentacruel again, so a very similar matchup to what we just saw. Here comes Abomasnow yet again. My opponent's going to go for a charge move this time, and this is actually going to be the Acid Spray, so Abomasnow is really glassy at this point, but I'm going to try to force a shield here with the Energy Ball, which we do get the shield. These Poison Jabs are going to add up, and we're not able to get to our second Energy Ball against Kingdra. So when your Abomasnow has been Acid Sprayed, it is definitely very, very flimsy. If you're going up against an opponent with a lot of poison types, I definitely recommend maybe double checking yourself on running Abomasnow against that line, just because once you get a few poison jabs and an Acid Spray, Abomasnow is like paper in the wind. So we do fire off the Surf here against Dragonair, and it will land. Not very effective, but still, we're just trying to put a little bit of pressure on this thing. We actually bring it down with the Ice Shards, which is really, really nice. In comes Tentacruel, and I do have that shield, and I force my opponent's shield, so we're going to fire off a few counters here and go straight for the one-hit Earthquake. Taking a look at the next game, I will decide to lead my Quagsire into Sunny Cast form, so very, very nice situation for us. My opponent's going to get a little bit of energy together and then go into Lapras. So Lapras is going to face off here against Abomasnow. Remember, trainers, because Abomasnow is part grass, these Ice Shards are going to be neutral, so they are going to add up. We just have to make sure we get to a couple of Energy Balls before then. My opponent is going to shield that first one, and I think I can get to another Energy Ball, but I do have to give Abomasnow a shield. So we do defend the Dragon Pulse, which is really nice. I know my opponent's pretty low on energy after they spend all of that energy on their attack, and we do force that second shield with our second Energy Ball. So very, very nice situation for us. I do have a very healthy Quagsire, and I know it will be good against the other Pokemon in the back as well. So I do go for the Stone Edge here. This will do a tremendous amount of damage, which it does. I get off one more Mud Shot, but here comes my opponent's Surf. So not a huge deal to Quagsire. I switch into Beedrill here to absorb the second Surf. I knew it was a Surf because there was no way possible he had enough energy to do anything except a Surf. So in comes Cast Form, and these Embers are going to add up really quickly. I'm actually going to save my shields for Quagsire, recognizing that he's probably my best chance to win this. I'm going to shield this attack here and then go for a little more farming because I want to get double charge moves off. We're going to throw the Earthquake here and hope that we can get to the Stone Edge, and that'll be super effective against whatever's in the back, which is Skuntank, and we get to the Earthquake here. So Quagsire making a case for itself as being one of the best Mud Boys. I just did a video on Whiscash as the best, but whoever you think is the best, let me know in the comments below. So here we go with our Abomasnow versus Muck. So this is a Poison Jab user, and we do need to be very careful. He's going to fire off the Thunder Punch. As you can tell, they're not very effective damage at all. So when you look at Abomasnow, again, trainers, last time I'll say it, I promise, you have some very unique strengths and weaknesses due to its typing. It can be really, really good, but it's very, very hard to use. Takes a lot of brain power, especially for somebody like me. If you were a better trainer then you'd probably be able to use it pretty well. So here we go with our Energy Ball. And that is not going to land. It will get shielded. So we did force that shield out of Kingdra, and I do decide to bring in Dragonair because I know my Victory Bell will wipe out that Swampert in the back. So I'm going to shield my Victory Bell here and fire off one more Razor Leaf to bring down Kingdra. In comes Swampert, and shields or not, the Razor Leafs delete it. This is the last battle of the video, trainers. I do decide to lead Minun into Shift Tree. So this is against my friend Matt Swar, always with the spicy picks. He is going to swap it here into Torkoal. So Torkoal does have Earthquake, and it does have I think Solar Beam and Overheat as well, so you do need to be very careful. It's got a very versatile move set, but it doesn't get to those moves very quickly. So we're going to fire off the Crunch, just trying to put some pressure on Matt here. I realize he wants to take my Skunk Tank out. I'm going to allow him to do that because I know he's going to spend all of his energy in the process. I do decide to bring in Minun here, and Minun's putting up a good little fight. I do go for the Discharge just to get Torkoal off the field, and now we are 2 pokes each, but I do have a shield advantage. So in comes Shift Tree, and I decide to go into Abomasnow. In comes Feraligatr. And Matt knows the movesets. He knows that if this Energy Ball lands, it will be devastating. So he's going to shield the first one. But I have 2 shields on Abomasnow, and I'm definitely going to be able to get to another Energy Ball, which we are going to do right here. So this will definitely one-shot water type Feraligatr, no problem. I'm telling you, these moves are so powerful when you can line them up. Abomasnow is just a berserker, and if you can control it, it can be a really, really good member of your team. I'm going to get here to the Outrage, and I think this will be enough to finish off Shift Tree, which it does. Trainers, if you enjoyed this Abomasnow play, please leave me a like, send me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts were, and if you really liked it and want to see more, smash that subscribe button and ding that bronzong bell to get notified.